Okay, good evening students. Welcome back to the MUDRA classes. Today I am going to explain you tricks for writing journal entries. So actually in previous videos I explained to you journal entries by following the rules of personal account, real account, nominal account. Now today we are going to learn journal entries without following the personal account rule, real account rule, nominal account rule. Just I will tell you the some tricks. If you remember the tricks, you can able to write the journal entries without following the rules. Okay, let's start the today's session. So see, already I told you in the previous class. When any transaction happened in the business, we have two aspects. One is receiving aspect, another one giving aspect. Example I will tell you. Purchasing 1 kg sweet. So purchasing 1 kg sweet is a receiving aspect. In return we are giving cash, that is giving aspect. Otherwise, purchasing one accountancy textbook. So purchasing accountancy textbook is a receiving aspect and giving cash is a giving aspect. That means in every business transaction there must be two aspects, then only it is called business, otherwise it is not called a business. If you are taking only money, if you are taking only benefit and in return you are not giving anything, then it is not called a business. For every business transaction there must be involved two aspects. One is receiving aspect, another one giving aspect. For example, by how you are watching these videos, by paying money, you are watching, you are taking my service. Okay, so that means you are paying money and you are receiving my service. Similarly, why we are purchasing the vegetables, in return we are paying cash. So for every business transaction there must be involved two aspects. One is receiving aspect, another one giving aspect. Okay, so remember this one. Okay, now the first trick is always remember purchase of goods whenever given in the question. Purchase of goods whenever given in the question. Purchase of goods whenever given in the question. Purchases you have to write on debit side and another aspect you have to write on credit side. Okay, see, this is the question beta. Purchase of goods whenever given in the question. Okay, so purchases you have to write on debit side. Purchases you have to write on debit side. Another aspect you have to write on credit side. Another aspect you have to write on credit side. Okay, so remember, this is the question, this is the question, this is the point you have to remember. This is the trick. Whenever given in the question purchase of goods, so whenever given purchase of goods, whenever given in the question, in answer you have to write purchases, you have to write on debit side. So you know how to write journal entries. So this is the format of journal entries. You know very well. In previous class I explained it to you. So this is the format of journal entries. Okay, this is particulars and this is debit rupees and this is credit rupees, and here we will write date. Okay, so this is the format. So whenever see previous section, once again I will show to you the rule for rule 1. Purchase of goods, whenever given in the question, you have to write purchases, you have to write on debit side. That means like this you have to write purchase account debit. So always whenever purchase of goods given in the question, remember that purchases you have to write on debit side. Then what will come on credit side? Only two items. Only two items will come on the credit side. If you purchased goods by paying cash, so credit side cash will come. If you are purchasing goods by paying check, bank will come, and one more will come. If you are purchasing goods for credit, that person name will come from whom you purchased. నానా జాగ్రత్త వినాలి, మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను ఒకసారి. మనం ఎప్పుడు గూడ్స్ పర్చేజ్ చేసినా పర్చేజెస్ అనేది డెబిట్లో రాయాలి. పర్చేజ్ అనేది ఎట్ సైడ్ రాయాలి, డెబిట్లో రాయాలి. ఇంకో ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో అది క్రెడిట్లో వస్తుంది. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ. See, this is the example number 1. Example number 1. Purchase of goods for cash, rupees 500. See the next one. Purchase of goods from Ram, rupees 1000. Otherwise only purchases given. This is one aspect, this is one example. Otherwise only one question only given here. Only simple purchases given. Purchases rupees 2000. One more transaction. Purchase of goods from Ram for cash. For cash, rupees 5000. Now listen, Nana. These are the few examples I given for you. See, this is the question. I will once again I will explain you here. This is the rule you have to remember. This is the rule number 1 you have to remember. What is that rule? Purchase of goods, whenever given in the question, purchases you have to write on which side? Debit side. Okay, and another aspect you have to write on which side? Credit side. Okay, now here see the first question. Purchase of goods for cash given. Purchase of goods for cash. So what purchase of goods given in the question? So I said purchases write on debit side. So then what is the another aspect here? How we purchased goods here? For cash. How we purchased goods here? For cash. So another aspect you have to write here, purchase account debit to cash account. Okay, amount how much given, that much amount we have to write here. Here 500 I taken as an example, so that 500 we will write here. 500 debit, 500 credit. Narration you know, being goods purchased for cash, being goods purchased for cash. Simple. First one completed. Okay, example number 1. Now we'll see the example number 2. Okay, what is given example number 2? See here, first one completed. Second one, purchase of goods from Ram. Purchase of goods given in the question. In the question what is given? Purchase of goods. What I told you, whenever purchase of goods given in the question, purchases you have to write on debit side. So purchases account debit. Credit side what will come, Nana? Another aspect. What is another aspect in this question? How we purchased goods here? Purchased goods from Ram side. So what is another aspect here? Another aspect here is Ram to Ram account. To Ram account. Amount how much given in the question? 1000 rupees. So that amount we have to write here. Debit 1000 rupees and credit 1000 rupees. Narration, being goods purchased for credit, being goods purchased for credit. Remember here, whenever name given in the question, assume that is a credit transaction. Whenever name given in the question, assume that is a credit transaction. Look at the board. See, second one, purchase of, see the first question, purchase of goods for cash. That means here in this case, we purchased goods and we paid cash. Now see the second one, purchase of goods from Ram. Here what is given in this question? In this question, what is given, beta? In this question, Ram name is given. So Ram name, whenever, see, whenever name is given, you assume that is a credit transaction. Whenever name given, you assume that is a credit transaction. Example I will tell you. In your home near, you have compulsory, you have kirana shops. If you purchase any item from that kirana shop by paying cash, he will not write anything in your in their notebook, your name. Okay, if you purchase any item for credit near your shop, immediately he will write your name on the notebook. Why? Because he will forgot. That's why he will write immediately. Okay, so remember, whenever we purchase goods for credit, that time we will write the name, otherwise we will not write. Okay, telugulo chepta vinana, eppudu purchase of goods ichina purchases anedi debit lo rali, credit lo em rali, cash ichi konte cash అని రాయాలి, ఒకవేళ పేరు ఇచ్చినాకో అది క్రెడిట్ అని అర్థం. ఎట్లా సార్ ఎట్లా గుర్తాము అంటే, మీ ఇంటి దగ్గర ఏదైనా కిరాణా షాప్ ఉందనుకో, మనం డబ్బులు ఇచ్చి ఏదైనా వస్తువు కొన్నామనుకో, మన పేరు రాయాడు కిరాణా షాప్లో. ఇప్పుడు మా ఇంటి దగ్గర ఒక కిరాణా షాప్ ఉంది, నేను ఒక బ్రెడ్ ప్యాకెట్ తీసుకున్నా, డబ్బులు ఇచ్చేసిన, నా పేరు రాసుకోడు. అదే నేను ఒక పాల ప్యాకెట్ తీసుకొని రేపిస్తా అని చెప్పి నాకు పైసలు, ఇమీడియట్గా నా పేరు రాసుకుంటాడు, పాల ప్యాకెట్ తీసుకుంటూ రాకేస్తారని. అర్థమవుతుందా? అంటే మన పేరు ఎప్పుడు రాస్తాడు అక్కడ? అప్పు తీసుకుంటే రాస్తాడు. సో దట్స్ వై ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ వెనెవర్ నేమ్ ఈజ్ గివెన్, యూ అజ్యూమ్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ క్రెడిట్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. నౌ సీ ద థర్డ్ వన్. See the third example, only purchases given. What is given here? Purchases rupees 2000. Only purchases given. What we will purchase in the business? In the business, purchase means we will purchase the goods. ఇప్పుడు నేను మొబైల్ బిజినెస్ చేస్తున్నా అనుకో, నేను మొబైల్ పర్చేజ్ చేస్తా. నేను బట్టల బిజినెస్ చేస్తే బట్టలు పర్చేజ్ చేస్తా. నేను షూస్ బిజినెస్ చేస్తే నేను షూస్ పర్చేజ్ చేస్తా. అంటే మనం ఏ బిజినెస్ అయితే చేస్తామో మనం అవే పర్చేజ్ చేస్తాం బిజినెస్లో. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో పర్చేజ్ అంటే అర్థమైంది, పర్చేజ్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ అని అర్థం. సో క్వశ్చన్లో పర్చేజెస్ అని ఇచ్చాడు. పర్చేజెస్ అని ఇచ్చాడు అంటే పర్చేజెస్ డెబిట్లో రాసుకోవాలి మనం ఇమీడియట్గా. సో పర్చేజెస్ రైట్ ఆన్ డెబిట్ సైడ్. పర్చేజ్ అకౌంట్ డెబిట్, వాట్ ఎవర్ అమౌంట్ గివెన్, దట్ అమౌంట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ 2000 rupees. So 2000 I will write here. Now credit, what will come here? ఇక్కడ క్రెడిట్ ఏమొస్తుంది? పర్చేజెస్ అని ఇచ్చాడు, పక్కన ఏమి ఇవ్వలేడు. అంటే దాని అర్థమైంది అంటే మనం గూడ్స్ పర్చేజ్ చేసాం, క్యాష్ పే చేసాం. ఇన్ దిస్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ఓన్లీ పర్చేజెస్ గివెన్ బెటా, ఎనీ నేమ్ నాట్ గివెన్, ఎనీ క్యాష్ నాట్ గివెన్. దట్ మీన్స్ ఇన్ ద బిజినెస్ వి పర్చేస్డ్ గూడ్స్ అండ్ రిటర్న్ వి పేడ్ క్యాష్. దట్ మీన్స్ we are purchasing goods, we are paying cash. Okay, so another aspect is cash will come here. So here second aspect, in second line you have to write to cash account. Okay, now amount is 2000. Narration, being goods purchased for cash, being goods purchased for cash. Okay, so like this beta, very very simple. See, if you observe the debit side, if you observe in the question, if you observe debit side in the question, here I written purchases, here I written purchases, here I written purchases. That means whenever in the question purchases given, purchase of goods given, purchases we have to write down debit side. Another aspect, what is another aspect? If you purchased goods for cash, cash will come. If you purchased goods for credit, that person name will come. You see, credit side only two items, one is cash, another one name, another one cash. Is it clear to you? See, what is another aspect? What is another transaction? Now 3 completed, 1 2 3 completed. Now see the fourth one, purchase of goods from Ram for cash. Very very important. See, this second one and fourth one you observe. What is the difference between second and fourth? In second one, purchase of goods given, here also purchase of goods given, here from given, here from given, here Ram given, here Ram given, but here what is given? That is important. For cash is given. So first thing, Whenever purchase of goods given, we have to write purchase on debit side. So I will write here, uh, here I will write one more transaction. So here place is not there, better below this answer I will write here below itself. So purchase of goods whenever given, we have to write purchase on debit side like this. Purchase account debit we have to write, and credit what we have to write, Ram or cash. See, I am purchasing goods from Ram by paying cash. When we are paying cash, you no need to remember the name. When you are paying the cash, no need to remember the name. Just now I told you, near your home, Kirana shop. When you are paying cash, he will not write your name. So here we paid cash. No need to remember his name. So what is another aspect will come here? To another aspect, we have to write cash to cash account. Okay, amount is 5,000. Debit 5,000, credit 5,000. Okay, I think you understand the concept. Simple. Trick number one, whenever purchase of goods given in the question, you without thinking anything, debit side you write purchases like this. Whenever purchase of goods given in the question, without thinking anything, debit side you write purchases. Credit side only two aspects will come. You remember, if you purchase goods for cash, cash you write. If you purchased goods through check, then you write here bank, cash or bank, anything will come. Otherwise, if you purchased goods for credit, then you have to write that person name from whom you purchased. Okay, I think this concept is clear. Only one thing, rule number one, you have to remember, whenever goods are purchases you have to write on debit side. This is the trick number one. This is the trick number one. Now we will see the trick number two. Trick number two. So trick number two. Whenever purchase of asset given, whenever purchase of asset given in the question, whenever purchase of asset given in the question, asset means what, Nana? Example, land, building, furniture, machinery. Okay, example. So whenever purchase of goods, whenever purchase of asset is given in the question, okay, then what we have to write? Asset name, you have to write on debit side. Another aspect, you have to write on credit side. Okay, so very important, Anna. See, once again we will see the question. Whenever purchase of asset, what we have to purchase here? Asset we have to purchase. Whenever we have to purchase asset, whenever purchase of asset is given in the question, asset name you have to write on debit side. Another aspect, whether it is cash or for credit, you have to write on credit side. See, in previous problem, whenever purchase of goods given, we written purchase debit side. Another aspect, cash or name. Similarly, whenever purchase of asset given, asset name you have to write on debit side. Let's see the examples. See, this is the second rule, beta. This is the second rule. This is the rule number 2. This is the rule number 2. Okay. Now see we will see some examples here. Examples. Purchased furniture for cash rupees 10,000. This is the first one. Second one, machinery purchased from Salim. Machinery purchased from Salim, rupees 5,000. Example. Okay, one more example we'll see. Purchased computer for cash from Ravi, rupees 20,000. Next, fourth one, building purchased rupees 1 lakh, okay. These are the 4 transactions we will see. Okay, if you observe this question and previous question, okay, see here what we purchased, beta. Here what we purchased, furniture. Here what we purchased, machinery. Here what we purchased, computer. Here what we purchased, building. Here furniture purchased. Here machinery purchased. Here computer purchased, and here building purchased. So these all are assets. So what I given in the question, whenever purchase of asset is given in the question, like land, building, furniture, machinery, then asset name you have to write on which side? Debit side. And another aspect you have to write on credit side. Let's see the journal entries of for this example problems how to write. So whenever purchase of furniture given, furniture is an asset. See in previous problem, see what is given in previous problem. See purchase of goods. Here what we purchased? Goods we purchased. If you observe carefully, here we goods purchased, here goods purchased, here also goods purchased. Okay, goods given. But in this question, purchased goods not given here. Purchased furniture. Machinery purchased, goods purchased not given. So purchased computer given, building purchased given. So whatever we purchased, these are the asset. These names we have to write on debit side. Now see the first example, purchased furniture. Said furniture is an asset. So asset name you have to write on debit side. So like this we have to write journal entries. So I will draw the here pro forma. So you know very well what is pro forma of the journal entries. First we have to write heading here. Journal entries. Debit, rupees, credit, rupees. Here we have to write headings and as well as date. Here we have to write particulars. Now once again, see what we purchased here, furniture. So asset name given. Whenever asset purchased, asset name write on debit side. So like this, furniture we purchased. So furniture account debit. Furniture account debit. Okay. Now Purchased furniture. How we purchased furniture? For cash. So what we have to write? Credit here. Cash. Credit we have to write to cash account. To cash account. Amount 10,000. Narration being furniture purchased. Being furniture purchased for cash. Being furniture purchased for cash. Being furniture purchased for cash. Okay. See the next one. See the next one. Machinery purchased given. Machinery purchased. What we purchased? Machinery. Machinery is an asset. Asset name you have to write on debit side. Asset name you have to write on debit side. So machinery we purchased. So machinery name we have to write on debit side. Machinery account. Here A by C shortcut we will call it as account. Account full spelling ACCOUNT account, but in shortcut we will write A by C. I think you know that. So machinery account, here I written DR. This is debit. This is DR, debit. Okay, machinery account debit. What is the amount? What is the amount, beta? 5,000 rupees. So debit 5,000 rupees. Okay. Now see, from whom we purchased here? Machinery purchased from Salim. Which name given? From Salim. That means we purchased machinery without paying cash from Salim. How I am telling that? Because name is given here. Just now I told you, whenever name is given, that is credit transaction. పేరు ఎప్పుడైతే ఇచ్చాడో అది అప్పు అని అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి, మనం అప్పు తెచ్చుకున్నామని. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద అనదర్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్? సలీం. సో సలీం యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ ఆన్ క్రెడిట్ సైడ్ టు Salim account. Amount 5,000 rupees. Okay. Narration being machinery purchased for credit. Credit ante appu, udar, uddera. Okay. See the next transaction. Third one. What is given? Third one. Purchased computer. Purchased goods ante purchase debit lo రాసేవాళ్ళం, కానీ ఇక్కడ కంప్యూటర్ పర్చేజ్ చేసామన్నాడు. కంప్యూటర్ అనేది అసెట్. ఓకేనా? ఎలా పర్చేజ్ చేసాము? ఫర్ క్యాష్. ఓ వెరీ గుడ్. ఫ్రమ్ రవి. అరే ఫర్ క్యాష్, మనం క్యాష్ పే చేసాం. కంప్యూటర్ కొన్నాం, క్యాష్ పే చేసాం. క్యాష్ కట్టిన తర్వాత ఎవరి దగ్గరకు ఉంటే మనకేంది? సో ఇక్కడ ఏ పేరు ఇచ్చినా మనకు సంబంధం లేదు. ఓకేనా? ఎందుకంటే వి పేడ్ ఇయర్ క్యాష్. సో యూ నో నీడ్ టు కన్సిడర్ ఎనీ నేమ్. వి విల్ నాట్ కన్సిడర్ నేమ్ బెటా, బికాస్ వి పేడ్ క్యాష్. మనం డబ్బులు పే చేసినప్పుడు పేరు అనేది రాయాల్సిన అవసరమే లేదు కదా. ఎప్పుడు పేరు రాస్తాము? క్రెడిట్ కొంటే రాస్తాం. సో ఇయర్ వి పర్చేజ్డ్ కంప్యూటర్ ఫర్ క్యాష్. సో వి పేడ్ క్యాష్. సో నో నీడ్ టు రైట్ ద నేమ్. సో one aspect is purchased computer. Computer is an asset. So asset name you have to write on debit side. So computer name you have to write on debit side like this. Computer account debit. Computer account debit. What we have to write now on credit side? What we have to write on credit side? Just a minute beta. Sir. Sir. క్లాస్లో ఉన్నారా? ఎంతసేపు పడుతుంది? 7కెళ్ళి. అబ్బో, ఎన్నింటికి వస్తావు మరి? వస్తావా? సరే 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 మరి. సరే 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 రైట్ రైట్. సో సారీ ఫర్ ద డిస్టర్బెన్స్ బేటా. So computer account debit. What we purchased here? Computer account debit. So how we purchased for computer? For cash. So another aspect we have to write here, for cash. So to cash account, amount we have to write 20,000, debit 20,000, credit 20,000, narration being computer purchased for cash, being computer purchased for cash. Okay, see the next one and last one. What is given? Building purchased given. What is given? And a building purchased for cash not given. Obviously when you purchased a building, in return we have to pay cash. Even though he is not mentioned, that is the meaning. We purchased a building and we paid cash. ఇక్కడ for cash అని ఇవ్వకపోయినా ఎవడైనా పుణ్యానికి బిల్డింగ్ ఇస్తాడా మనకి? ఇవ్వడు. అంటే మనము మెషినరీ బిల్డింగ్ కొన్న తర్వాత రిటర్న్ డబ్బులు ఇచ్చాము అని అర్థము. సో బిల్డింగ్ ఈజ్ అన్ అసెట్. సో బిల్డింగ్ నేమ్ you have to write on assets debit side. So like this journal entry you have to write like this: building account debit 1 lakh rupees. And how we purchased that building? Here anything not mentioned, that means another aspect is cash. So credit side we have to write to credit side we have to write to cash account. Credit side we have to write to cash account. Okay, credit side we have to write to cash account. 1 lakh rupees. Narration, you know what you have to write, being building purchased for cash. So this is the second trick beta. This is the second trick. Okay, I hope you understand this one. Okay, trick number 1 and trick number 2 I explained to you. Now I will explain to you in next video trick number 3, trick number 4. Okay, with this I am going to close this session. Thank you.